Greg Adams here from WaynesFilmSchool.com. Today I'm going to show you how to shoot and process Magic Lantern RAW 60p slow motion footage. I've got my 5D Mark III here with 100mm, and the nice thing about this camera is that you have two slots. So I install Magic Lantern on this SD card and never record to it. So I'm going to assume that you have the ability to install Magic Lantern on your camera. And if you don't, there's plenty of tutorials online, so check that out. So I'm recording my raw video footage to this the CF card, Consolo, that's how I name my cards. This is 120 megabytes per second, 32 gig card. So this is fast enough for what I do, but technically, you know, a faster card will help you out. And I'd say anything over 32 is good. You definitely want a lot of card space because this eats up footage like crazy. So I'm going to turn my camera on, make sure you're in manual mode and video. And Magic Lantern loads just as usual. And what we're going to do first is go into the Canon menu and actually make sure that we're shooting at 60p. So we're going to go to IPB, or no, actually we want all eye, low compression, because you don't want to use the camera processing as much as possible. You don't want to use that. So IPB, go back, and then we're going to go into Magic Lantern. We're going to go over to the modules, and all the way down here, you'll see Magic Lantern RAW will load when you turn your camera off. Wait a sec, pop the battery out, battery in, turn the camera on. Let Magic Lantern do its thing. Yeah. See, if you shut it down too quickly, it actually won't load. So I'm going to turn it off, wait a couple more seconds. Battery out, battery in, wait a couple seconds, turn the camera on. And cool, it's on. So so now that you'll notice the in modules Magic Lantern RAW record, it says okay, that's cool. So now you go over to movie, go down to raw video, and you can turn this on by hitting the select bar set button. So for what I'm doing, I'm going to have my aspect ratio 2.35 to 1 aspect. It's not going to be 16:9. There are ways to do that, but with this card, this is what I want to do. So I've done a lot of tests. So really, to do a test, you set your resolution with your card and then you start rolling, and if you have any drop frames, it's too much. It's too taxing on the card and the camera, so you need to dial it back a little bit. So you just keep doing that until you find a resolution that works, and for me, at this aspect ratio, 1728 by 458 works. And you'll notice that the 458 you would think is like very tiny. So what you do is you stretch that out in post by 1.35 magnification to 1728/736 resolution. And it tells you how fast your card needs to be going for this to happen. But I've done some tests and this looks great. So once you have that, you know, it'll show you this screen. What I like to do is to go over to my crop marks and then load a crop mark that makes sense for what I'm shooting, so that I know, you know, what is in my frame when I'm shooting. So after I do that, I'm all set and ready to go. So I'm going to go outside and shoot some clips around Brooklyn. Okay, so I went outside into the cold Brooklyn and shot a bunch of clips. Didn't shoot too many. You'll notice that the file sizes are pretty big. You know, each clip was less than 10 seconds. I shot a handful of them and I'm already at 9 gigabytes. So totally recommend fast, large, and a bunch of CF cards if you're shooting this. So I shot one reference file, and I shot this standard 720 60p H.264, as you can see from the file size, and then I also shot a raw image, or a raw video just like that framing. So we'll compare the two, but I'll go through how I process these raw files. So check it. Okay, so those files are on the computer. don't need the CF card anymore, so we can just take that out. Okay, so what you're gonna need to do is install a program called Raw Magic Lite, I think, or Raw Magic. So I have the Lite edition, but it still works. Link is in the description, so make sure you download that and then open all of these raw files with this program. So it's gonna detect that you have a Magic 5D Mark III. It's gonna show all of these, and then to add more files, you can if you need, but we're just gonna convert all of these to a new folder here on the desktop. And what it's actually doing is taking these single raw files that the camera made and turning it into a folder filled with all of the frames. So you'll see this one has 434, and you'll see the rate at which it was shot, and then also the ratio. So the ratio is off. We're gonna have to stretch that. And what we're gonna do that in is After Effects. So as that's happening, I'm just gonna load After Effects so that we can kind of do two birds with one stone here. This will only take, another minute to finish up. It's actually pretty fast at processing. It's a good little program, and it's free for download. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a new composition, and we want this to be what Magic Lantern recommended you stretch your image out to. As long as the ratio is correct, it works. We also want to make sure that our frame rate is what we want it to be at the end. So we're importing 60p footage and exporting at 24. So, and then 50 seconds is a good, little test right there. So let's see how this is going, and that's done. Okay, so now all we have to do is, so what that made was on the desktop in the second folder, all of these other folders with all of the DNG files. So they may actually look weird when you preview these actual DNGs just on your computer, but don't worry, they will turn out fine. So I don't know why it does that, but it's kind of weird. So we're gonna process this 46 file here. So what we're gonna do is import file, go into here, we have the 46 right here, and then we're just going to select all of the DNGs in that folder, shift click. And then once you do that, you have this option for camera raw sequence, check that, click open. And then it automatically should bring up this Adobe Raw, I don't know what they call it, but it's Adobe Raw. So what we're gonna do is, auto white balance is telling us around 4,000. I'm gonna warm that up a little bit for 4,600. And then I'm not gonna do much with the exposure. I'm just gonna kind of give it a little bit of dynamic range here. Make it a little brighter. Okay, so that's, you don't wanna do too much, but it seems as though it needs to be much brighter. So you kind of have to just figure out what you want as far as your look. So once you click OK, it makes this image sequence. So what we're going to do is just click this, drag it right on top of comp that we made, and then you'll notice this is, what the camera recorded. We need to stretch it, so all you have to do is just click and drag this all the way to the top because we already made a composition at the correct resolution. So technically this is our final image, and we can trim down to the length that we need, trim comp to work area. We're going to add to render queue, and for footage like this, I like to change my format from animation to Apple ProRes because I'm going to be editing Final Cut X. We can turn audio output off because it doesn't record audio with the Magic Lantern Raw. So once that's set, we can just click render and let that do its thing. Okay, so that's done, and I'm just gonna get rid of this for the time being and check out this comp. So as you can see, it's in slow motion. Well, that's it. Now you have your final video. It's not too bad of a size, but yeah, thank you for watching.